I was 27, young and full of dreams, happily married to David, a man I thought was my perfect match. We had been together for 5 blissful years, and everything seemed like it was going perfectly. Our life together was like a beautiful postcard. Weekends at church, cozy dinners at home, and the dream of a bright future. Then, the best news came. I was pregnant. The excitement was palpable, and even though we didn't know the baby's gender at that point, David was already talking about how he had always dreamed of having a son. I understood his excitement. It was something he'd been thinking about for years. Unfortunately, we didn't get to share our joy for long. Our son was stillborn, and the grief that followed was unbearable. I spiraled into a dark depression. There were moments when I couldn't see a way out of the pain. But through it all, David stood by me, and together we tried to rebuild our lives, although the perfect future we once imagined felt like a distant dream. 5 months ago, we received unexpected news. I was pregnant again, but this time with triplets. The joy was indescribable. David became incredibly attentive and loving, and we agreed that this would be our final attempt to build the family we had always wanted. We decided to go all out with a gender reveal party, inviting all our family and friends. It was a moment I'd been waiting for, and I was just happy to be bringing 3 little lives into this world. When the moment of the reveal came, it was a whirlwind of excitement. My brother had prepared the confetti cannons, and as the canisters went off, pink confetti filled the air. We were having 3 baby girls. I couldn't have been more thrilled. My brother was ecstatic, but David's reaction was anything but joy. He slammed his hands on the table, and in a voice filled with anger, he screamed that I was supposed to give him at least 1 son. His words shattered me. The guilt I had already carried from the stillbirth of our first child now felt heavier than ever. His outburst was a harsh reminder of my worst fear, that I had failed him. I broke down in tears. My brother tried to calm him, but David shoved him aside. It was chaos. My brother took me inside, but David's shouting could still be heard, yelling that he didn't want daughters and that he didn't want 4 children if none of them were boys. Since that day, David became a stranger. He avoided me, slept in the guest room, and when he did speak to me, it was with anger and bitterness. I tried to talk to him, to understand where his anger was coming from, but his response crushed me. He told me he would provide for our daughters, but had no interest in building a relationship with them. That was the moment I knew I couldn't stay in this marriage. My heart ached as I realized that I couldn't raise my daughters in a loveless home. I turned to my family for support, but instead of finding comfort, I was met with dismissal. Men want sons, they said, as if that somehow justified David's behavior. Only my brother understood. He and his husband had a daughter, and they adored her. Their love proved that men could be loving fathers to daughters. I felt torn, trapped between the fear of breaking up my family and the certainty that I couldn't stay in this toxic relationship. I know one thing for sure. I can't let my daughters grow up feeling unwanted. I don't know what the future holds, but for their sake, I have to find the strength to move forward.